Welcome to my channel, Life is Relationships. What you should never forgive a woman for in a relationship, and why.
Why and what you should never pardon in a relationship. This is a powerful and complex topic. The phrase, never pardon a woman, is intentionally stark and requires immediate clarification. It is not about fostering resentment or refusing forgiveness. Instead, it's a metaphorical framework for understanding that some actions are not mere mistakes but fundamental violations of a relationship's core. Here is a complete breakdown of the why and the what, moving beyond the provocative title to a more nuanced understanding.
The core philosophy, never pardon versus always forgive. First, let's dismantle the literal interpretation. Pardon, in this context, means to absolve, excuse, and move on as if the transgression never happened. It implies a dismissal of the act's significance and a failure to demand accountability or change. Pardoning often comes from a place of fear of conflict, fear of loss, or low self-worth. To forgive is an internal process of releasing anger and resentment for your own peace. It is possible to forgive someone for your own well-being while simultaneously choosing not to pardon the act by ending the relationship or enforcing serious consequences. The principle, never pardon a woman, or anyone, for that matter, means, never treat a fundamental breach of trust as a simple, pardonable mistake. Acknowledge that some actions reveal character or compatibility issues that cannot be simply overlooked.
Part 1. Why you should never pardon certain actions. The why is about self-respect, the health of the relationship, and the preservation of its foundational pillars. Erosion of self-respect. Continuously pardoning serious transgressions teaches your subconscious that your feelings, boundaries, and well-being are not important. This leads to a loss of self-esteem and self-worth, making you a participant in your own emotional neglect. It enables a cycle of disrespect. When there are no meaningful consequences for destructive behavior, the message received is that the behavior is acceptable. Pardoning without accountability sets a precedent. What is pardoned once is often repeated, as the boundary has been shown to be porous. It prevents genuine resolution. True resolution requires facing the problem, understanding its root cause, and collaboratively building new safeguards. Pardoning bypasses this necessary work. It papers over a crack in the foundation, which will inevitably widen. It distorts the power dynamic. A healthy relationship is a partnership of equals. When one person is constantly in the position of pardoning the other, it creates a parent-child dynamic. This is toxic and breeds resentment on both sides. You teach people how to treat you. Your response to being wronged is the most powerful lesson you can give. By not pardoning egregious acts, you communicate your standards and what you will and will not accept in a life partner.
Part 2. What you should never pardon, the non-negotiables. This list is not about minor flaws, bad days, or honest miscommunications. These are actions that strike at the very heart of a committed, loving relationship. Category 1. Betrayals of trust. Infidelity and emotional affairs. Why it's unpardonable. Infidelity is not a mistake. It is a series of conscious choices to deceive, lie, and invest intimacy elsewhere. It shatters the foundation of trust and safety. Pardoning it often leads to a relationship plagued by paranoia, insecurity, and an inability to ever fully trust again. While some couples do reconcile, it is a long, difficult road that requires radical honesty and change, not a simple pardon. Chronic lying and deception. Why it's unpardonable. Trust is the bedrock of intimacy. If you cannot believe what your partner says, about small things or large, you are building a relationship on quicksand. A pattern of lying reveals a fundamental disrespect for you and an unwillingness to be authentic. Financial betrayal. What it is: hiding significant debt, making large financial decisions unilaterally, secretly spending shared savings, or sabotaging the family's financial security. Why it's unpardonable. In a partnership, finances are often shared and represent collective security and goals. This betrayal is a profound breach of the team dynamic and shows a prioritization of self over the well-being of the unit.
Category 2. Abuse and disrespect. Any form of abuse. This is absolutely non-negotiable. This includes physical abuse, any violence or threat of violence, emotional and verbal abuse, constant criticism, name-calling, gaslighting, intimidation, and insults. Psychological abuse. Isolating you from friends, family, controlling your actions, and eroding your sense of self. Why it's unpardonable. Abuse is about power and control, not love. Pardoning abuse is dangerous. It signals to the abuser that their behavior is effective and has no real consequences, inevitably leading to escalation. Your primary duty is to your own safety. Contempt and profound disrespect. What it is. Mocking you, rolling their eyes when you speak, using sarcasm to belittle you, or showing a general lack of respect for your thoughts, feelings, and values. Why it's unpardonable. According to psychological research, notably by Dr. John Gottman, contempt is the single greatest predictor of divorce. It is the antithesis of love and admiration. You cannot build a life with someone who fundamentally disrespects you. Category 3. Core value violations.
Consistent lack of support. What it is. Not being your cheerleader during your successes, not being your comfort during your failures, or actively undermining your goals and dreams. Why it's unpardonable. A primary function of a romantic partnership is to be a soft place to fall. If your partner is a source of discouragement or indifference instead of support, the relationship fails in its most basic purpose. Refusal to take accountability. What it is. When confronted with their hurtful actions, they consistently blame you, make excuses, or dismiss your feelings. You're too sensitive, you made me do it. Why it's unpardonable. Without accountability, there is no possibility for growth or change. A person who cannot own their mistakes will continue to make them. You end up trapped in a cycle where you are always the one at fault. What to do instead of pardoning.
When faced with one of these non-negotiable actions, your response should be deliberate and self-respecting. Acknowledge the severity. Do not minimize it. Call it what it is. This was a betrayal, this was abusive, this was profoundly disrespectful. Communicate the impact. Clearly and calmly state how their actions made you feel and the damage it has done to your trust and the relationship. Use I statements. I feel devastated and unsafe because of your actions. Demand accountability, not apologies. And I'm sorry is easy. True accountability involves a genuine, unprompted apology that details what they did wrong. A clear plan for how they will ensure it never happens again. A willingness to make amends and rebuild trust, which is a long and difficult process. Set and enforce boundaries. A boundary is not an ultimatum to control them, it is a limit you set to protect yourself. Weak. If you do that again, I'll be mad. This is a threat. Strong. If you continue to speak to me with contempt, I will end the conversation and leave the room. This is a boundary you control. Make a conscious choice. Option A. Reconcile, with conditions. This is not pardoning. This is choosing to stay only if there is full accountability, demonstrable change, often with professional help like couples therapy, and a genuine rebuilding process. The relationship will be different, and the transgression will always be a part of its history. Option B. Release, forgive and let go. You may choose that the violation is too great. You can forgive them for your own peace, but you consciously decide to end the relationship because it is no longer healthy for you. This is the ultimate act of not pardoning the act. Conclusion.
The idea of never pardoning a woman is ultimately about having unwavering standards for how you are treated in a relationship. It is a call for wisdom, the wisdom to distinguish between a forgivable human error and a fundamental breach of your shared bond. A loving, healthy relationship is not built on the constant pardon of serious faults. It is built on mutual respect, unwavering trust, and the daily choice to act in ways that rarely, if ever, require a pardon.
A heartfelt thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed our time together and would love to continue this journey, I would be so honored to have you subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment and say hello. I love hearing from you.